Good afternoon, traders, and welcome back to the Hot Stocks Outlook for November 16th, 2018. Hope you're all having an excellent week in the financial markets, and as always, we have plenty of great opportunities to cover. We're going to start here with McDonald's Corporation. We've got Oasis Petroleum, so a lot going on in the energy sector and with crude oil. We've got Crocs, Activision, and also EA, but of course, let's go ahead and start out here with McDonald's. And just generally with the markets, we've seen a lot more volatility. It's opened up a lot more trading opportunities, but you want to be able to deal with that volatility appropriately, right? And be able to really adapt to how these markets have certainly changed from how they were trading, 6 months ago. So what we want to do in here looking at McDonald's is, find areas of the market where we could justify taking a long position. And what you have here on this chart, these are daily bars and candles against all of this price data here. So this is all end of day data. And against that price data, you see that there is a black line and a blue line. Now, very important to understand the difference here between these two values. Now, the black line is what's referred to as a actual or simple moving average. So extremely common technical indicator, but it just plots previous close prices, averages them together, but it's a good summary of where the market has been over a given period of time. But if you look closely at this blue line and this blue value that's generated via the artificial intelligence found within the software, what it's able to do is look at how other markets, so things like the S&P 500, the dollar index, commodity futures, other related companies, ETFs, how all these other markets have interacted and affect shares of McDonald's, and then produce a forward-looking forecast of where prices are expected to move going next. So for this value to be calculated, and then we can compare it to this actual moving average, that's what lets us know that, okay, well, the prediction is that this market is going to start trending. And the logic is very simple, right? If average prices are expected to go higher than, a simple moving average, it suggests this market is going to become elevated, start moving higher. Now, in addition to those predicted moving averages on all these charts, we have a couple of other indicators that really round out the forecast. So whether you're a shorter term or longer term trader, you're going to know what to expect in the market. So here we have a neural index. This is a 48-hour indicator, and you see it goes from green to a red configuration, but it's only looking out a couple of trading days at a time. So it's short-term strength or weakness in the market. Now, lastly, you're given a predicted high and low trading range, which you see this grayed out bar is actually the prediction before the actual trading day occurs. So we can actually see how accurate all of these predictions are against the individual trading day. So once you identify, okay, the overall trend direction, you can use these short-term forecasts to, know if there's going to be strength or weakness, whether you want to buy on some dips, essentially be your strategy, but also have a predicted high and low. So an actual intraday level that you can look to take positions from. So when we go ahead and bring up those predicted levels and just really, run the logic forward of, okay, you're trying to get long this market. So where do you want to be a buyer? Well, you want to buy at that low. That's a predicted low. And you see, this is where a lot of traders get tripped up, where you have a trading day where the market just moves down, closes right at the low. If you're just a day trader or short-term trader, there's no money to be made buying this at a low, and you have to hold it overnight and deal with that trend. And you see, we get that move higher. But as the market trades forward, again, you want to know, hey, what are the expectations for today? Where should I be looking to get involved in the market to match my particular trading style? Again, whether that's a long-term swing trader, a day trader, or a just adding to those long-term positions, which is a really great strategy. So here you see about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 entries into the market, and things going fairly well here. So as a trend trader, you can go in, put in a stop, trail your stops up with the market. As a shorter term trader, you're buying at those predicted lows and making money as this market over the last 18 trading days in a highly volatile market is up 10.5%. So not a bad place to push the longs, but obviously there's a lot of areas in the market to play the short side of the market. Energies, one of the most obvious, as we see crude oil prices also moving much lower. But here in Oasis Petroleum, and you see it's lining up with the S&P and some of these stocks to say, look, these markets are starting to move lower. You want to, again, go ahead and use those predicted trading ranges to say, okay, well, where can I set a short position? As far as the oil sector stock, these things are going to bounce up and bounce around. But then when crude oil starts slipping, you see these things really start to move lower pretty rapidly. So it's pretty interesting. A lot of these stocks have seen a little bounce in crude oil, but the trend's still to the downside here. And so you want to just stick to the forecast. As long as the trend is down, continue the campaign of shorting and taking profits on shorts until we're instructed otherwise. And we got a 38% move lower in Oasis Petroleum and a lot of these big energy companies as crude oil, really takes a big move lower recently here. So here we have Crocs Corporation. Now, and there are a lot of great places to go short the market, but obviously you want to know where to cover those positions and possibly even go to get long, right? Well, here in Crocs, you see crossover coming to the upside here about, about 13 or 14 trading days ago. But if you're looking for an opportunity to get long, you say, okay, well, let's use these predicted ranges to decide, okay, well, I can buy some down here. You can buy some over here. You get some volatility after this, big move starts to move higher. But you see how this works out. These ranges are going to help you out as far as dealing with the volatility appropriately and sticking with that trade. So really nice opportunity to the upside here in shares of Crocs. And, this is a very shorter term opportunity here. So if you're getting in at this predicted low on this trading day, you're up over 30% in just the past 11 trading days. So obviously there's some areas in the market to go short, but not when these predicted moving averages start moving to the upside. You want to cover those shorts, go ahead and get long, and hold on to your positions in things like Oasis, it's moving lower, and you have these ranges helping you deal with that volatility that's really expanding as these things get hammered. Now, lastly here, one of the best things that you can do, especially in a market like we have now that you've seen a lot of weaknesses, find those sectors where the stocks are showing very similar conditions, right? And showing these bearishness at similar times. Here we have Activision. We brought in Electronic Arts last week. But you look at these two charts and you see, okay, well, Activision shares, you come in here, you get this crossover, a little bit of bounce here with this neural index, but the trend, that blue line, still below the black line, and you want to remain short in these markets. Even as we got a little bit of a bounce here in the S&P, this is not the areas that had any strength at all, and you see gaps down in really nasty conditions here. So this sector, just in general, a lot of weakness here, and really kind of an oversaturated market in many ways, but down 36% in shares of Activision. And again, of course, for the shorter term traders, you can bring up those predicted ranges and understand that, okay, well, you want to short at these levels. We got a little bit of an outside day here where, before the market opens, you're either going to get filled right at the open or not trade that day. But you want to remain shorting this market here. And you see as this market trades forward, the levels really come in very well over the longer term so that you can keep trading this market, adding to your position and making the most of that opportunity. So really nice opportunity to the downside here in Activision shares. Obviously this past week, things getting even more bearish. Again, over 35% decline. And here in EA, you see a very similar chart. So you understand, look, something big's going on in this sector. You definitely don't want to be getting long EA, Activision, these video game companies, and the NASDAQ as well being very weak. And therefore, again, you can set up that campaign that says, okay, well, I'm going to go ahead and look to be a short in the market. And we've just had great opportunities to be short in this market. And you see just the most recent opportunity here of this predicted high being hit, and almost immediately getting a really strong decline here and another 8% move in just the past 6 trading days. So just tremendous opportunities all throughout the market. But of course, you want to go ahead and understand, okay, well, what sectors are weak? What areas should I definitely not be shorting? You shouldn't be shorting McDonald's, shouldn't be shorting Crocs. But there is those areas of the market that are excessively weak, and there's tremendous opportunities to trade both sides of the market, to go long, but also go short when it's appropriate. And we see these sort of bearish condition on the index and crude oil and the dollar moving higher, and a lot of these intermarket correlations really driving stocks in an extremely important way, and that what you want to really be able to capture with a software that's able to look at those relationships and forecast with a very high level of accuracy of what are the expectations for me as a trader. What should I be doing? How should I be positioning myself to execute that strategy as efficient as possible? So have a great rest of the week. Thank you all for watching. Once again, this has been our Hot Stocks Outlook for the week of November 16th, 2018. Have a great week, guys. Thanks again, and bye for now.